So welcome Arm Wrestling fans. I'm Pradeep from Arm Wrestling News, and today we have two special guests. Number one, Ryan Bowen. We can say he's our regular guest right now, but still special for us. And Paul Italia. Paul, people say that you are the promoter of the year, and to me, I would say at least that you are the, what should I say, podcaster or interviewer of the year. I really genuinely believe that nobody even comes close to you when it comes to interviewing great level arm wrestlers, and I'm really learning from you. Welcome here, brother.
Well, thank you very much, Pradeep, and I want to definitely say to you, thank you for the Arm Wrestling News. I've been watching it since the very beginning and all, and very big fan, brother.
So we are here today to talk about the event, which is tomorrow for us. Like in Australia also, it is on 9th of January, and for the Western guys, it is on 8th of January. So Paul, can you tell us a little bit, or should I say, can you tell us everything about that event?
Yeah, so right now I'm in Percyville, Virginia. We were over at the venue yesterday, Harvest Gap Brewery. We set everything up, making sure everything's perfect for this great pay-per-view event we got going on. If you haven't already, get over to Ryan's page. Make sure to join your membership over there and purchase the pay-per-view. We got 4 mega matches going on tonight. First match starting off, we got an amateur super match with Damon Ransom going against Robert Kelly. This is a rematch, the first time Damon won. So Robert's coming back with a vengeance, wants to get this win. We also have another match that we just added. This is the Battle of the Giants. And we got big Austin Jaggers, and he is going against big 6'7" Wayne Withers. This is going to be a war. Then one that we've really been waiting for, Brandon Elcessor. This guy is a warrior. He has been going around the United States for the last 2 years, just dominating all of his opponents. Well, he has his biggest match of his career coming up. The big comeback of Travis the Beast Bagent. Some say the best GOAT of arm wrestling with the left hand is making a comeback. He's been 2 years of not competing. He just started training and everything. So he's definitely going to have a war. It's not going to be easy for him. Brandon is no joke. And then the big match, the main event that we've all been waiting for, 2 years of lead up, and it's finally going down tonight. We've got the #1 arm wrestler in Australia, Lachlan Adair, is going against the side pressure king, Todd Hutchings, aka Toddzilla. This is going to be epic. Do not miss this one, everyone. And of course, it's hosted by Travis Bagent, promoted by Italia Arm Wrestling Promotions, and Ryan Bowen is handling the pay-per-view. So tune in tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time is when it all kicks off. And it's going to be a great event going on.
Yeah, thanks for the explanation, Paul. And let's quickly talk about all the matches. First, talk about Ryan. I'll ask for your thoughts about the match. Then, Paul, I'll come to you about Robert Kelly versus David Ransom. So, what is your opinion about two novice/amateurs getting an opportunity to compete with the big names under a pay-per-view? Like, is it good for the sport, or as many people are saying, it is bad for the sport?
No, it is anything but bad for sport. It is brilliant. What I love about this is that this model, this YouTube pay-per-view model, is something that we can use as a sport collectively. We can grow with it. And how exciting is it for an arm wrestler to be on a pay-per-view? I mean, we've currently, as I speak right now, we're at about 420 odd sold of the pay-per-view. That might double by the time we get to tonight. And to think about what a buzz it is going to be for these two guys that are relatively new to the sport to have a paying audience watching them. They normally it is hard to get that opportunity. When you're a brand new arm wrestler, it's difficult. So for the gentlemen that are in this position that have earned through their marketing ability, their hype ability, the opportunity to be on this card, it is a sensational moment for them. And I hope they take control of it and grasp it and run with it, because hell, this might be the match of the night. There's emotion in this. It's a rematch, so we know that it's close and it's going to be tight. This could be an amazing match, and if it is, these guys are going to be propelled from this paying audience of 1,000 people potentially paying to watch them. It's going to be a buzz for them, and they'll be propelled to the next level and the next opportunity for them. So I'm thrilled that we've got a match like this on the card. Absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. This one I found in Arm Wrestling Uncensored group. I mean, the hype was real with this. I mean, there was a couple hundred comments under their first match. People just taking both sides, both sides got a big fan club now and all. I expect some fireworks with this one. And like Ryan said, that first match, it was really close. So I think Robert's really been training. He's been on a mission and he wants redemption on this one.
Yeah, so does that mean if Arm Wrestling News wants a match under your pay-per-view? Is that an opportunity?
I think Pradeep Singh v. Jake Ward, Aussie arm wrestler, man, that would be mega. That would be seriously awesome.
I'm seriously, I was just kidding. I'm not thinking about competing right now, but one thing I can guarantee you, be it any level, whatever my level in arm wrestling is, I can guarantee you that I can sell pay-per-views. I don't have any doubt, because a lot of people would want me to see lose so bad that they would buy the pay-per-view.
Well, I think Pradeep, we might have to set something up, brother. I'll be hitting you up very shortly, I think.
Yeah,
very good.
So all fun. Let's talk about second match, Wayne Withers versus Jaggers. You mentioned, so we don't really know about the other guy's name. So can you explain to us, like, what is his level?
Give us some history on Jaggers. Wayne Withers obviously been a bit more prominent name in that super heavyweight division, but Jaggers for me is someone that I have to be honest, I'm not particularly familiar with. So, but you mentioned that these guys will have an absolute war. So fill us in on Austin.
Yeah, I actually I don't know too much about Austin other than what I've heard about the buzz in the community. I've heard he's extremely strong, very solid puller. He's been pulling for a few years now. He's been contacting me and looking for matches and all, and staying in contact. I just haven't actually seen him in a match, but I've heard a lot of great things.
Yeah, well, he's pulling Wayne Withers, and there's people backing him to do it. Then he's obviously a monster, because Wayne is a beast, and no one would step into the arena with Wayne unless they were suitably armed. So that will be, again, and I guess that's another huge opportunity for Austin, because, like I said, Wayne with some serious credibility. Wayne's got wins on Matt Mask. Wayne has pulled with the best. He's pulled Dave Chafee. He's pulled a lot of the top guys, and Wayne is one of those guys that is being very closely watched by the WAL, by King of the Table, by everyone. Wayne's always right there and could at any moment take a big win. So Austin has an opportunity to swoop right in and steal some of that thunder that Wayne has built over the last few years. So looking forward to that match as well.
And what do you guys think about with Travis Bagent making his big comeback, and he's going against this warrior, Brandon Elcessor? What are you guys expecting with this?
Well, for me, I Travis, I mean, you're obviously tight with Travis, so you would have an interesting insight and a much more intimate insight than us. But for me, when I think of Travis and comebacks, I think Travis would be very well calculated, and I think Travis wouldn't take a match unless he was confident he was going to win. That said, Brandon Elcessor has pulled so outstandingly over the last 2 years. His development in the ranks in the USA has been phenomenal, and so much so where he's considered one of the pullers of the year of 2021. And he's a threat to Travis, and Travis got to be careful, because yes, Travis is genuine elite pedigree, and when elite pedigree dips its toe back in the water, it usually comes in pretty high again. And so I expect Travis to be in the driver's seat in this match. I really do. I don't think he would make a comeback for a match where he's not in the driver's seat. But classically, comebacks don't always work out. Ask Alexei Vovoda. They don't always work out. Comebacks often backfire, and Brandon Elcessor has a huge opportunity to make it backfire. And that would be a huge statement if he could pull it off. So Travis is in the firm driver's seat. He's the favorite in this match in my eyes, for sure. But wow, what an opponent in Brandon Elcessor, and dangerous match for Travis if he's not on point.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling him. I'm like, do not take this kid Brandon lightly. I mean, Brandon was just in Washington State. He just won a 4-way with that left hand. against legend Jacob Abbott, Jordan Sill, Andre Sharkovich. So, I mean, he is no joke with that left. And I mean, bro, he's peaked out right now. He's been going hard these last 2 years. Just, every month or two, he's going against some big names, just destroying, dominating all of his opponents. So this is not going to be easy for Travis. I can tell you this, Travis has been training for the last couple of weeks, not much, but he has been doing things. He is back and active. He is planning on that big match in June with Cody Merritt. So this is going to be the start of everything. This gets everything going. And he's hungry again, brother. He wants to be back in the spotlight. He sees all these guys on social media. Everybody's going to Dubai. Everybody's got a big match coming up. Everybody's making a lot of money. So I think it's definitely inspired him to get that fire lit under him.
Yeah, nice. Can't wait.
And I had no idea about the recent matches of Brendan Elcessor till you mentioned it in one of the interviews with Travis Bagent. I think you counted at least 8 to 10 high-level victories of Brendan Elcessor in past maybe a year or so. And like, I was really impressed with that guy. I did not know that much. So can you just briefly remind us again, for those people who haven't watched that show, about Brendan?
So this year, Brandon has been on a tear. So he began the year off with a win over Paul Lynn. After that, he then went on a super match, right hand and left hand against Jordan Sill, winning both of those, which was a crazy war. Then he went on, I kind of thought he was going a little overboard, going to the next level, taking on opponents of Mike Aiello and Paul Passamore. And I was like, wow, I think these guys are a little too big for him. I don't think he's going to really do this. He was the underdog. And then sure enough, boom, he beats them both, which now everybody was watching him. Everybody's like, wow, this guy is no joke. So we bring him over to Virginia. We get him in a 4-way over there. He's in there with Bill Sinks, Jason Merlo, Quinlan Mendez. Pulled a tournament right before that. Thought he was crazy. I'm like, dude, you got this big 4-way going on. You're going to pull a tournament? He's like, yo, I got this. All right, brother, let me see what you got. Sure enough, he goes and wins the 4-way. So now I'm in shock. Now I'm like, all right, bro, you have just really surprised me. I can't believe the domination you're doing. Let's bring it across the country. Fly him across the country, bring him over to Washington. Now it's the 4-way I was just telling you about with left hand, Jacob Abbott, Andre Sharkovich, Jordan Sill. Same thing again, walked away with the W. So, I mean, after that, bro, I thought he was done. It's going to take a couple months off, heal up and everything. Well, the opportunity of a lifetime came to him. 1 week later, I hit him up and I say, yo, you want a match with Travis the Beast Bagent? He's like, oh my God. He's like, if you would have said anybody else, I would have said, no, I need to rest up. But this is an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm not going to let this pass by. He took it right then, which in that alone, that shows right there, he's got a lot of confidence in himself to take on a match like this. So I'm a very big fan of Brandon. If you haven't already, Brandon's just came out with his YouTube channel. I think it just up maybe 2 days ago. Get over there, Brandon Elcessor. This guy is the next big thing, brother. He is going to be elite for real.
That's quite a performance, isn't it? Wow.
And Ryan, compared to that performance, what Travis Bagent said, that he did a couple of workouts left-handed and his left side is already feeling tighter. This is what Travis had to say. But baby,
I mean, all day long today, he's walking around and he's like, I just feel different. And he's like, look at his left. I mean, he's definitely, I don't know if he's tricking himself and he just keeps telling himself that, or he really believes it. But I mean, he is definitely going around with showing off, flexing every 2 seconds. I'll tell you that.
He's firing up that mental engine that he needs to get going. But yeah, that is a good match. And that I haven't heard that story in its depth there about the year that was Brandon Elcessor. And wow, that is a year. That's a real big year. I can see now why people said puller of the year, Brandon Elcessor. And yeah, if he can start 2022 with a W over Travis Bagent, who, like you said at the start of the show, considered in a lot of people's eyes the left-hand GOAT. That's huge. No matter what shape Travis is in, that's huge. Yeah, big match. And that's our undercard to the big reason we're all here.
Yeah,
this is the one we've all been waiting for. 2 years of build-up. You guys been locked up in a cage and they finally gave you the key to let you out. You bring us the #1 king of Australia right now, Lachlan Adair, and he is going to square up against the side pressure king, Toddzilla. I have been waiting from literally day one when I first begun. This is what was going on. Everybody was going back and forth with that, and now it's finally coming to tuition tonight, and I am excited about this one.
Yeah, this as you said, Paul, this match has been building for 2 years. There's been genuine heat between these guys, back and forth. The internet is split on whose side they're on. There's so much more than just the arm wrestling between the two. There's an entire nation in Australia and New Zealand as well, desperately waiting to have the opportunity to prove their credibility. And Lachlan and literally Lachlan Adair is carrying the weight of two nations on his back with this match. This is a big match, and stylistically, it is two of the strongest arm wrestlers you will ever see and witness in your life. Todd Hutchings, as you said, the side pressure king, a man that is a 6-time world champion in his own right. He's dominated weight categories from middleweight all the way up to super heavyweight. He's banged with the best super heavyweights in the world went on his day. And then you've got Lachlan Adair, someone who I can only describe as a freak. If you ever get the chance to meet Lachlan in the flesh, you'll be like, oh my goodness, all those pictures on Ryan's Instagram, they weren't photoshopped. That's really what he looks like. He is a strength phenom, and he has been locked in a cage for 2 years, unable to prove himself, and he is ready to come storming in the door. He wants to be recognized as a top 10 guy in the world, and he plans on demonstrating that by running over Todd Hutchings. And what a match this is going to be. It is going to be epic.
Gotta just say, seeing him in person, brother, it is just amazing. Like I said, you guys sent me a couple of the pictures, and a couple of the people were saying, "Oh, that's photoshopped and all." Well, now that just seeing him in person, they don't even do justice. He is bigger in person when you see him. You cannot believe what he looks like. The man's forearm starts right here. It's right at his wrist. This thing is it's crazy. But we had him on the scale last night, 250 pounds, looking solid, looking ripped.
Wow.
Yeah, he's ready.
250-pound Lachlan. Oh man, look, Todd is in trouble. He's in trouble. Yes. So I gotta declare my allegiance. Obviously, yeah, I'm backing Lachlan this one, but as you said, the man's hand and wrist, the anatomy of Lachlan is different. It's just different from anything else you see in the arm wrestling world. But this is Todd we're up against. This is Todd have you ever seen Todd run from someone in a fight about power and strength? And Todd's the favorite in this match. Todd's reputation serves him to be the favorite. And round one of this match is going to tell such a story because neither of these guys are going to run from each other. They are coming straight at each other. Two guys who back their strength, back their power, back their connective tissue in their frame, and they're going to put it all on the line. And round one, we're going to see absolute collision of force like no other. You can't describe how much freaking force is going to be between those two hands. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't know which way this way is going to go, but I just remember the last one we just did with Toddzilla. He was over in Lindale. He went against the gorilla, Corey West, who broke our scale. He was over 420 pounds that day. And, we all know the first round that Corey shocked everybody and, pinned Toddzilla. And everybody's like, oh, wow. And then all of a sudden, Todd Hutchings hit the button from Todd Hutchings and turned into Toddzilla. And it was the wrap from that, brother. It was epic day. So all I know is Lachlan is going to have his hands full. I know Lachlan's looking insane, strong, 250 pounds. But, I also said the same thing about the gorilla, 420 pounds. And, Toddzilla did what he did. So this is definitely going to be the biggest challenge of Lachlan's career, I believe, today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, talking about Lachlan, that dude's forearm is like, even if you're watching him in a 1 hour live stream, 2 hour live stream, it is really hard to take your eyes off that forearm. It doesn't matter how many times you watched it. That's the sole focus of your eyes in that video. And Lachlan is like really looking strong. Paul, just to clear up for all of the fans, are all the matches best of 6?
No. So the Toddzilla versus Lachlan, it's a race to four. Travis Bagent versus Braden Elcessor, it's a best of three.
Best of
Damon
three.
Ransom versus Robert Kelly is best of three. And Wayne Withers and Austin Jaggers, I just double check, but I believe it is best of five. But I have to double check on that one.
Best of three sounds like a Travis special.
Yeah, right.
It sounds like Travis has loaded that gun just the way he wants it, fast and quick and nasty, and get it done.
Yeah, and this
man. I don't know if he's been really working that endurance. So everything he's got right away.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
Paul, you remember you asked me any questions for Travis Bagent, and I asked whether he's competing just to increase the pay-per-view sales. And he actually said yes, that he's just competing to increase the pay-per-view sales. But this match being best of three shows that he wants to win this match. Like, I genuinely believe he has some future plans right now. Because best
I'm
of
not
three.
kidding, guys. When I tell you this, Travis says things or whatever, but I'm telling you right now, I'm vouching for him. This is happening. This comeback is real. I've been laying a fire under him for the last 2 years, but in the last couple of months, I've seen a change. With the spotlight of all these other athletes, there's a lot of money going around, and the beast, man. He hears those money signs and he wants in, and he's definitely making his comeback. This is for real this time, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we were doing some predictions about the Todd Hutchings versus Lachlan match. Ryan, do you really think, like I saw in your live stream about 30-40 minutes ago, you were saying that the worst case scenario would be Todd Hutchings winning in long 15-20 second hook battle. So do you think, Paul, you said it is a race to four. So if someone wins 4-0, the match is over there, right? Yeah. So,
Yes.
So Ryan, do you think if the worst case scenario happens in round 1 or 2, or maybe even 3, a 15-20 second long hook battle, and no matter who wins in that match, let's say Todd wins or maybe even Lachlan wins, do you think Lachlan will be able to come back after that match if that happens in any of the rounds?
No, if Todd is good enough to get Lachlan supinated and dug down into a hook, and they have a war, every round after that will go to Todd Hutchings. Because Todd is far superior in endurance, and especially if it's supinated endurance. That said, getting Lachlan supinated when he doesn't want to be supinated, good luck, even if you are Todd Hutchings. Lachlan Adair possesses a raw back pressure somewhere in the high 70 kilos. His wrist flexion is phenomenal. So if you're coming forward at him, he will turn you palm up before you even get past his pronation because of his wrist flexion, and his connective tissue at the elbow and at the chest in particular. His strength through the shoulder for him to take center is phenomenal. So if you're coming forward at him, you better be ready, because he has a shoulder press that can cut you off, or he can just bully you sideways with that back pressure engaged. So I don't see Todd being able to get to that position under any circumstances, other than technical a superior execution. If he can, through experience, manipulate the starts to be exactly the way he needs them, and he can get the jump into that position, then it's on. But if we're talking about getting there through physicality, I think it's more about, can Todd survive the opening surge from Lachlan? That's more realistically the question we're going to ask. And if he can, the endurance is going to be somewhat neutralized, because I think if a match stops somewhere, it's going to be with Todd in a semi-compromised position and Lachlan not quite being able to finish. That's more realistically where we then have to say who's going to win that endurance battle. Lachlan will probably have a slightly superior position, but Todd has the more significant in endurance. So what happens then? That's a realistic question, I think.
Ryan, about
another thing.
Yeah, Paul, please go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Pradeep. But the other thing I wanted to let your fans know is you were talking about his wrist of Lachlan and how big and developed it is. The other thing that I don't want you to forget that I noticed last night is we were on the table and all. It's his bicep. I mean, he's got to be a 21-inch bicep on him. I mean, it is. It looks like a bodybuilder, bro. Like I've never seen anything like it's like a bicep on top of a bicep. You know, so I mean, it's not just the wrist; it's everything from the fingers to the shoulder.
I've copped incredible amounts of delusional criticism for some of the quotes that I've talked about Lachlan. You can quote me as saying I've said Lachlan has Saplenkoff-ish numbers on arm wrestling specific lifts, and the truth of it is he does. He has a 77 kilo direct, no drag, no just bicep pivot, 77 kilos. That's Levan numbers. That is Levan numbers. So in terms of his bicep strength, his back pressure, getting past that it's formidable. It's really, really hard to get past that. And he's very aware of that strength that he has. And he can make someone chase him across the table and subsequently be very exposed because they're trying to get past that bicep. And let's be realistic, Todd Hutchings is not top rolling Lachlan. He's going to intend to hook him. So he's looking to come in on the bicep. Very interesting to see.
The other thing that I noticed was the speed of Lachlan. I wasn't expecting that much explosive power. I mean, the speed is just amazing. I mean, guy moves like he's like a middleweight. It's insane.
Yeah, there's been a lot of running jokes about whether he is actually fast or not, but he is. He's very much a fast twitch athlete from the background of powerlifting. He's all about exploding. And like I said, if you've seen some of his deadlifts, the way he even approaches that, it's very explosive. And it's the same on the table. When Lachlan from even my own experience with Lachlan, you'll feel at center that you've got what you need, and then he just rips it off you in a very short period of time, and you're fully disengaged, and you think, oh man. And I think that Todd acknowledges that Lachlan's going to be faster than him. So again, I see this match coming down to the first question is, does Todd survive the hit? And if he does, what's the position where the match stops? And then who has the endurance from that position?
I believe when I had Todd on my with an interview and all, I think he referenced that. He was saying that he knew that you were faster than him when you guys were training, and then when you pulled Lachlan, he seen Lachlan was faster than you. Yeah.
It's interesting about the straps too. I feel like the straps would help Todd a lot, but the strength of these guys, I don't think it's going to straps. I think it's staying outside of straps because both these guys have an immensely strong containment ability. Neither of these guys are running. They're both predominantly inside pullers. I can't see either of them actually being able to slip. I think Todd has enough fingers that if Lachlan was trying to bail, he wouldn't get out. He'd collapse underneath Todd's fingers. And I think it's vice versa. If Todd tries to top roll, his back pressure is not sufficient to break the hand of Lachlan. So I think this is going to be an out of strap match unless both of them happen to decide to top roll. That's the only circumstance, because I think they are both sufficiently strong enough to force the match to come inside. And because I think Todd's the favorite as well, I don't see Todd actually in a mental approach to run to the straps would almost be a concession. I think Todd will come straight at Lachlan. Lachlan will come straight at Todd.
Pradeep, I'm interested to hear your predictions on this match.
Yeah, I'll come to predictions. Since Ryan mentioned slipping and the straps, so what rules are we following here in these matches?
On that match, I believe it is WAF. I'm not sure, Ryan. I got mixed up with all the different matches. What are we running on that one?
Let me quickly check arm bets. Arm bets will tell me on that.
I'll mention it. When I edit the video, I'll mention it. Don't worry. So actually,
you don't want me to look it up?
No, just leave it. I'll edit it afterwards. Okay. So
sure.
Paul, about 1.5 years ago, I made a video about that when all of that started. At that time, I said that Ryan is thinking that Lachlan is going to be able to beat Todd right now, but I don't think this is the case. I actually said in that video that if this match was to happen in about 2 years from now, Lachlan would beat Todd. This is what I said, and this match is happening in almost 2 weeks, 2 years from that time, about 1.5 years. But still, I would have to go with Todd Hutchings in this match 4-2. And that relates to a question that I have for Ryan Bowen. It is kind of a weird and very difficult question. I'm assuming that you believe that Lachlan is stronger than Todd. So I would like to ask you, what gap do you think is bigger? The endurance gap between these two, Todd having higher endurance, or the strength gap between these two? Like, which gap is bigger?
Well, they're both substantial gaps. And which one matters is going to come down to just the way that the cards fall in terms of how the match is determined. If like I said, if Todd secures his wrist and gets it fully engaged and has that turn in his arm, Todd's not losing the match. He's just not, because even though he will take 15 seconds to get through the arm of the bicep of Lachlan, the thing is Lachlan just doesn't have the side pressure in that position to match. So it will be Todd's match if it goes there. So it's a significant gap in that sense. But then the power gap, like you said, that off the starts drag race that's going to happen. It's a big gap as well. Like Todd's not fast like Lachlan. Todd doesn't have the back pressure of Lachlan. Todd has to survive on fingers. His fingers must. That's the critical thing. He can't make it about his side pressure elbow until he gets some rubber on the road. And the rubber on the road is only coming in the form of his fingers and his ability to bend his wrist and hold on. I don't expect to see his wrist do this. Like slightly kink at best. Stay flat, and its fingers big enough to stop that. It's going to do a go. And if it is, then it's Todd's match. But if it's not, then it's Lachlan's. And that gap is significant. Let's make no mistake about it. That revved up engine at the start of Lachlan Adair is far bigger than Todd's. It just is. I don't know which way it goes. I think I know. I think I have a good idea, but I do have to respect Todd Hutchings for the multiple world champion years, but man, my money's on Lachlan.
Yeah, I think the endurance gap is big enough, and I think I'll actually be surprised if Lachlan isn't able to take first 1 or 2 pins of Todd. I genuinely believe that it is going to happen, and Lachlan should be the favorite in the first couple of rounds at least. But I just cannot see with Todd's endurance inside a hook. And Lachlan, don't forget that Lachlan is almost certainly going to fight Todd in his strength. So fighting and beating Todd 4 times in a row in his strength, that is going to be a real difficult task.
Start to go down the hill.
Yeah, that's why I think
one thing I will say about Lachlan, you may have heard me say it before. Lachlan, he doesn't have amazing endurance when the fight is on, but he refreshes really well. So a minute's rest between rounds, he really comes back up. And I can promise you that the first 3 seconds of the next round, even if he's had a war, the first 3 seconds of the next round, he will still have an output that is far superior to Todd's. So there'll still be the opportunity. But if it lasts more than 3 seconds, he's in trouble.
Let me ask you guys this. What happens if Lachlan pulls off this big win? What happens next?
RVJ starts getting real worried. That's the first thing. But Lachlan Adair goes on to big things. I mean, if he has a decisive victory over Todd Hutchings, then the list of names that are suddenly volunteering to have a match with Lachlan Adair are very short. It's a small list all of a sudden, and it's the offers will come to Lachlan. I don't think he'll have to do much. He'll get offers from King of the Table to pull. Who knows? Maybe Hermes even. Maybe Gennady. Maybe Matt Mask, I don't know. Like those names will be offered to him. I'm sure that'll be the case if Lachlan is to win. So if Todd is to win, not too much changes. He sends Australia back to lick their wounds for 6 months or whatever, and we get back to the drawing board. And Todd continues on his steady, consistent path. But if Lachlan turns up and does this decisively, then yeah, wow, that's a big update for the arm wrestling world.
Yeah, but we need to remember that Lachlan has mentioned himself, and of course he must be assuming that he's going to win this match. So when he was talking about his future matches, what he wants to do or what he can do, I think he planned it after winning the Todd Hutchings match, considering that in mind that he's going to win that match. He has said that he's thinking about, he mentioned a couple of European names. I don't remember exactly, but he clearly said that right now he wants to remain around that 110 kg category. Doesn't want to jump into the super heavyweights yet.
Lachlan has said that he would like to pull Krasimir as well after this. Win, lose or draw, he'd like to pull Krasimir. I think that's a good match. And Lachlan says that because he understands that beating one guy is not enough. He needs to respect the other guys that are of equal caliber at that weight before he can just simply move on. So he would like matches with Krasimir. He would like matches with Marcio, that sort of caliber at that weight, which is a similar weight to what Lachlan's at. He doesn't want to rush straight into pulling guys like Kadecha and that are significantly bigger humans. Lachlan would like to establish some reputation at that weight, because Lachlan really does have a claim. If he beats Todd decisively, Lachlan has a claim of being the top ranked 110 kilo guy in the world. I mean, if you ask yourself who that question is outside of the guys that are the super heavyweights, it starts to get pretty hard to really rule out Lachlan. If he crushes Todd, it'd be nice for Lachlan to be able to go and pull the Prudniks of the world at 110 and the Krasimirs at 110 and see what happens there. So I think that's what he'd like to do first and foremost. And then after he's established that, he'll no doubt look upwards again and see how high he can go.
How about John Brzezinski? I wouldn't mind seeing that one if Lachlan gets the win against Toddzilla.
I do agree. Yeah, John's back, and by every sense of the word, he's back. And John's walk around weight is like 235 at the moment, I think. So that would be a good weight. I know Lachlan could be 235 if he had to for John, or 240 match or something like that. And yeah, if Lachlan gets through Todd, then John's an awesome match. And yeah, I think John will be up for that one too.
About the John Brzezinski match, I'm not sure how good he's going to be able to be against John to hold his wrist, prevented from getting top rolled by John, or maybe both getting their wrist busted back, something like that.
It would be interesting.
But if Lachlan is able to maintain the cup even slightly, I think it is going to be a bad matchup for John Brzezinski. It all depends on Lachlan's wrist, whether it is going to hold up. I think
Lachlan's arm would be superior. Lachlan's arm is a very good asset.
Ryan, it is telling me that you need to upgrade to pro, only 2 minutes remaining in meeting time. It has never happened when only two guys are live. I'm seeing this for the first time. So maybe it can end in 2 minutes. Too. Yeah, so 40 minutes around. So I think it should be a good time. Any closing words from you?
Man, well, I guess I'd like to encourage everyone to join the pay-per-view. This event is a special event for not only the arm wrestlers, but for the sport and growth as well. Paul Italia has done an amazing job in putting this together. Travis Bagent as well, coordinating it, and really grateful to everyone that is paying for the pay-per-view. We've got a significant amount of people in there already, and this really does encourage the sport's growth. It only encourages promoters to be able to do this again, to reinvest into the sport, get more athletes paid, more amateurs getting in the spotlight for the first time. It's all growth and goes back, and it's amazing. So I appreciate everyone on the pay-per-view, and head on over, and we'll see you there later tonight.
And Paul, 50 seconds remaining.
Yeah, one last thing. So 9 p.m. Eastern time is when it all begins. If you haven't already, get over to Ryan's YouTube, join that membership, purchase that pay-per-view. $4.95, you're getting a stack card, and this is going to help arm wrestling in amazing ways, just with its growth and everything. Also, just want to thank Pradeep. Thank you for having me on. Ryan, thanks for everything you're doing with the YouTube and with the pay-per-view and all. Really appreciate it, guys.
And that's not even $4.95 for everyone. For me, it was like just above $2, to be honest. So it can be different depending on different countries. So just don't assume that you cannot afford $4.95 and you don't even go look at there. So please buy the pay-per-view, guys. And thanks, Paul, for doing what you're doing. And thank you, Ryan Bowen, for joining the meeting. Thanks, brother. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.